Greetings. We are live. We are live. So, I gave you guys a little bit of a heads up on Instagram. Just want to give people time to come in. We are going to share this a little bit of this moment with Dendara. She is my ball python. So, let's see. Get her out. She's been resting and relaxing today. She and I went out for a walk and we are just coming back. So she was in the ball python carrier. So she's going to come out and join this live for us for as long as she feels up to it. You know, this might not be her thing, but let's see how she is feeling. So this is Dendara. She is named after the Brazilian hero Dendara that helped to build the maroon compound and colony of Palmares. Palmares was Dendara was one of the mothers of the Palmares maroon sovereign community in Brazil. So that's who she's named after. She's relaxing. She's not showing her face. Her face is down here. So she's just chilling. So we're going to chill with her for as long as we can. So thank you so much. Yeah, she is. She is a very beautiful girl. She has gotten so much bigger. I got her when she was a baby. She was like tiny, tiny. She could fit in like this part of my hand. And you can't see. I know, matching, giving. You can't see the fullness of her thickness, but she's a well-nourished girl. She's a well-nourished girl. She shows us how to nourish ourselves and how to rest and how to relax and how to put ourselves always in the position where we feel our best so that we can have what we need to shed the skin of the old and become the new. That is what our serpent mothers teach us. Yes, Ashe. So we are here today. We're going to discuss new manifesting techniques for this Lion's Gate. So first of all, praise and honor. Oh, I put my glass. Oh, here it is. I was like, I know I put my water back here somewhere. So first we want to begin by giving all praise and honor to Mother Cosmos and honor and praise to this time that we are in. So today is what is known as the Lion's Gate. This is a optimum time, an auspicious time for manifesting. Many of the doorways and gateways between the spiritual and the physical are open at this time. So we start by giving praise and honor to Mother Cosmos for giving us life during this time, for filling us with breath during this time, for creating us with all of the things that we need to participate in existence, and for doing the work of creating existence. So first we give praise and honor for that. We are happy to be here. Right? We are happy to be alive in this moment, and we are happy to have the tools that we need to navigate this moment. So first and foremost, all praise and honor, right? Give praise and honor. So then we want to talk about tools of manifestation. When I discuss tools of manifestation today, I have to integrate my new understanding of how to engage the universe. Unfortunately, I think that no, that's not right. Unfortunately, I know that we have been taught to engage with the universe from the perspective of pain. We have been taught that pain is our point of engagement. Even when we think about birth, we think about pain. We think about coming into life, we think about pain. We do not focus on the bliss that created us, and we do not focus on the blissful moments that happen during birth. Having given birth 6 times, There are super, super high trance-like blissful states that happen during birth, as well as pain. Both of those states are required to push us into the world. So that is the first point in which we begin to interact with pain and see pain as our point of connection with the universe. The second way that most of us were taught to see pain as our point of connection in the universe has been in our romantic relationships, right? Especially for depending upon when you were born, right? During the time when I was coming up, there were many songs about how pain was necessary in order to have a long-standing relationship. One that comes to mind is, of course, Mother Betty Wright. Of course, no shade at all. She is an icon, but she had that song that we all grew up listening to. No pain, no pain, no gain, right? And she taught us as young girls that she was earning her man while she was learning her man. She was earning him. And what was the tool that you use? What is the tool, according to this train of thought, that you use to earn your man? Is pain. Pain is how you earn your man. And Mother Betty Wright taught us that she was earning her man while she was learning her man. No pain, no gain. Without the pain of earning the man, you don't get the gain of having the man. That's how we were raised to look at it. So this is another way in which we were taught to see pain as our entry point into the universe. Other ways that we're taught to see pain, because the other areas of life in which we use the phrase no pain, no gain is, of course, when we are connecting with our physical body. When we connect with our physical body, we are taught that it is no pain, no gain. If you do not go in the gym and hurt yourself and feel pain, if you do not eat things that do not bring you pleasure and joy, right? If you do not have a very, what would we call it? Bland life that is mostly devoid of pleasure and mostly devoid of joy, you are not going to get the results from your physical body that you are seeking, right? So we have no pain, no gain in birth when we first get here. No pain, no gain in our love and romantic relationships. No pain, no gain in our interaction with our physical body. And the final two places actually, that we have no pain, no gain is in our career, right? You have to go through the pain of having a career that harms you, that hurts you, that you may feel as though you are being abused. You may feel as though you're being belittled. You may feel as though you are being mistreated. You've got to go through the pain of that to rise up to the ranks in any career. So no pain, no gain in our career. And the final and most important way that we believe that pain is our access point to the universe is in our interaction with God, in our interaction with the spirits, in our interactions with the deities, right? There has to be some pain. There has to be some suffering. The entire Abrahamic tradition is built on the understanding that it is suffering up until the point of no longer being alive that brings redemption, that only suffering can save you. Only suffering can give you access to the higher levels of the spirit realm. It is only through pain that you can access those higher levels of the spirit realm. That is what we are taught. And I am at a point in my life, and so I am at a point in my own personal teaching and in my own personal interaction with clients and with students and with godchildren, where I understand that there is nothing to be gained from pain. There is absolutely nothing to be gained from pain. That is not how you gain anything. That is not how you gain anything. So let's take it back to that song that our ancestral mothers were singing, that our aunties were singing, that some of our mothers were singing. And we were told, you got to earn your man while you learn your man. No pain, no gain. You've got to go through the pain of being harmed in the relationship to earn the right to be in the relationship. How many of us today, right now, 8/8/2025, believe that that is true? Tell me in the chat. Do we believe that that's true? Do we believe that that is how you create a good, fulfilling, long-term relationship? No pain, no gain. Earn your man while you learn your man. Is that true? I'm asking. I want to see the answers in the chat. Of course, we know better. Stop subscribing to that theory years ago. If it's painful, it ain't mine. So we know that that's not true in romantic relationships. We saw our mothers and our grandmothers tried to do it that way. Some of us went through the harm of trying to do it that way. We watched our older sisters try to do it that way. We watched our aunties, we watched the women in our community try to do it that way. And we know that it's not true. So we have thrown out no pain, no gain as a relationship idiom. We no longer use that when we think about how to achieve a fulfilling romantic relationship. However, we hold on to it in the gym. No pain, no gain. This may not be the correct way to open up your heart, but this is the correct way to access your body. No pain, no gain. Now, that same heart that you was talking about lives inside this body. But you still believe, you've let it go romantically, but you still believe that it's going to work physically. It's not. The same way that you've let it go romantically, now is the time, and life is showing us that now is the time to let go of the philosophy of no pain, no gain in every arena of life. Now is the time to let go. Thank you. My goddaughter, Oshunyiga, is saying accepting pain as the norm births abuse and suffering and loss of respect. Ashe. Across every aspect of your life. Today, Lionsgate, let's start the process of letting go of pain as our connection point to the universe. This is not how you access the universe. This is not how you access higher levels of being in your body. This is not how you access higher levels of career success. This is not how you access the true divine. Today, let go of pain. In this Lionsgate, stop looking at pain as a necessary access point. So that's the first thing that I want to talk about as we are working with our manifestations. We're no longer using pain. Using pain has taken Earth Mother Onile almost to the brink of destruction. Using pain as your access point to the universe is why we see romantic relationships in the crisis that they're currently in. Using pain as your access point to the universe causes people to not be able to see their bodies, not be able to feel their bodies, not be able to even know when they are hungry or when they are full. You lose complete connection with your body when you use pain as your access point. Using pain as your access point in your career causes people to be stagnant in their career, causes people to hate what they do for a living, causes people to feel objectified and commodified on their job and in their careers. Using pain as your access point to the divine enslaves you. That is what enslaves you. If you believe that suffering is the way that you access the divine, you are enslaved, and it is easy for others to come and enslave you as well. As a matter of fact, this obsession with pain is part and parcel of capitalism, patriarchy, the entire spectrum, the entire white masculine imperialism system. Pain is part and parcel of that. pain and us believing that pain is required to access something is what keeps us in that loop, is what keeps us outside of being able to control our own lives, our own livelihoods, our own hearts, and our own bodies, which is what we came here to do. So, first things first, when we begin this new process of manifesting in this new time, as we go through this portal today, let go of pain as your point of access to the universe. Fling that to the side. No more. Anything that you believe requires pain, I want you to give it up. I want you to understand that that is absolutely not necessary, and it is a spell that white capitalist imperialism has cast over you. Believing that pain is your way to access the universe, that's a spell that white masculinist imperialism has cast over you. So let it go. Completely let it go. Take yourself out from under that spell. That's the first thing. Second thing, I have created a system by which we teach ourselves to center our lives on pleasure. And it's interesting because for decades, I've been using ecstasy, abundance, and bliss as my benediction for my videos. But it wasn't until I noted this system as I was doing some research about Indus Kush, India, which was a colony of ancient Kemet or ancient Egypt, whose real name is ancient Kemet. And I came across this understanding of pleasure as the center of life. And I began to connect it to some ancient African information that I used to live my life. And I said, oh, this is the system that we should be using as opposed to the system that sees pain as the center of our life. So I've created a system by which we can center our lives on pleasure, because pleasure heals, pleasure empowers, pleasure uplifts, pleasure feeds you. Pleasure is the fuel of the universe. It is pleasure that makes every plant grow. It is pleasure that causes the rain to fall from the sky. It is pleasure that created us, that brought our mothers and fathers together, right? It is pleasure that keeps us connected to the deities. It is the pleasure of interacting with us that keeps the deities connected to the physical realm. The universe is a pleasure-based system. So I've created a training program to help us to begin the process of centering our lives around pleasure, changing our minds, changing the way that we do things, changing our focus, changing the way that we look at things. So this particular program is called the Kundalini Protocols. The way that you access it is going to be right there in the description box for this video. If you would like to join us, we do meet weekly every Wednesday, and you can register at that link in the description box. Next thing that I want to talk about is, as I began the process of making pleasure the center of my life, I took the time to find areas of my life that were overwhelming to me, areas of my life that were draining me. Now, life is not a place where we are meant to be stagnant. And what I mean by that is, we're not meant to lay around and not interact with nature and not move and not do things. So when I say I looked at those areas of my life that were causing me harm and that were not pleasurable, I don't mean that I then wiped my slate clean and ceased to do anything. And I think that unfortunately, that's the dichotomy that we look at. When I say pain can't be the center of your life, pleasure has to be the center of your life. Pleasure has to be your focus. Bliss has to be your guide. then we believe, because of white masculinist imperialism, because of capitalism, that if pain is not the center, that you just gonna lay down and not do anything. Now, hear me out. Some days you do need to be laying down and not doing anything. But we believe that without pain, we will not be motivated to do anything. That is a capitalist view, y'all. That is not reality. That is a capitalist view. Let me read this statement from my goddaughter. She says, I think we've been socialized to view deprivation as some sort of badge of honor. It is as counterproductive as the idea of pain being the way to reach our other various goals. I agree with that. I agree with that. Okay, so I said, okay, let me look at the ways in my life in which I'm still allowing pain to guide me, which I'm still hanging on to pain and seeing pain as some sort of way to access higher levels of life. So, one of the things that I do that is very draining to me is I do face to face or Zoom readings and divinations. So when you come into the Zoom, I'm there. I give you all of the information. I do the reading. I tell you what Oshun is saying, what your higher self is saying. Depending upon the type of reading, I either speak to your higher self or I speak to your ancestors, one or the other. So if it is a reading for you, then I'm speaking to your Ori, your highest self. If it is the Idele reading, which I do to give you the information on where you came from in Western Central Africa, in the Caribbean, and throughout the world, on Turtle Island as well. If you have ancestry here, then for that reading, I'm speaking to the ancestors. So depending upon who I'm speaking to during those readings, that is, I'm getting the information from them, and that is what I'm giving to you. The process of doing those divinations face to face and on Zoom is very draining. I love the divining. I love speaking with the spirits. I love sharing that information with those who need it. But being there in that capacity while going between the realms in that way is extremely draining. And it's natural and normal for it to be draining. Everyone knows that it is draining. So I changed the format of my readings for myself. As I am beginning the process of centering pleasure in my life, I changed the format of my readings. So now, if you get a reading from me, instead of a Zoom, you will receive your like a personal podcast. I know so many people love my podcast, and I love it too. If I can find time to do it, I will go back to it and continue to do it. I love doing it. It is it's fun to do, it's interesting to do, but I just do not have the time. And for so many years I was just running myself ragged and burning myself out, and my body actually suffered from that. So I'm not doing that anymore. But what I can give you is your own personal podcast. So, in your personal podcast, I will give you the information that the ancestors have for you if we're doing that type of reading, or I'll give you the information that your Ori, your highest self, has for you if we're doing that type of reading. Everything that you normally get during the Zoom reading, you will get during the personal podcast reading. So that means if it's your Which Orisha Rules My Head reading, you're going to get your deity, you're going to get your Yoruba name, you will get your colors, your metals, your stones, you will get your taboos if you have any, right? If it is a check-in reading where you're checking in to see what is the energy that's surrounding me right now. You already know your Orisha, you already have your Yoruba name, you have all of that information, but you're at a point in your life where you need to check in and see what is the energy surrounding me. You'll get all of that information. This is the energy surrounding you. These are the things to avoid. These are the things to lean into. But it will be in the form of a personal podcast as opposed to a Zoom or face to face. Now, I will still offer twice a week a Zoom reading. So one on Monday and one on Friday. And I'm adding to that 2 face-to-face readings as soon as I have tied down the location where I will be doing those. So I will be doing those face-to-face and 2 Zooms a week so that I am not overwhelmed. The rest of my divinations will be done in the form of a personal podcast. And I am excited about that because I know you guys love podcasts. And I know that people love to have a way that they can refer back to their divination. They love to be able to listen to it on a long car ride. Sometimes you need to listen to your divination when you're going through something. Sometimes you've got to refer back to that to see what are the things I'm supposed to be avoiding right now? What are the things I'm supposed to be leaning into? So when you get it in this particular format of a personal podcast, you will always have access to it. So that's something that I'm doing and a new strategy that I'm using for myself during this time. Yes, I want all of the questions. Thank you for asking, Nikki. Nikki's asking, can you still email questions? So because I'm doing it this way, when you go and you put in your, when you go and you get your appointment for the reading, then it will ask you to submit your questions before so that I can ask the questions before. Or sorry, answer your questions before. So as part of your personal podcast, you will get your questions answered. Now, once I send you the podcast, if more questions come up, you can also still ask more questions as well, and I will divine and get the answers to those. So thank you for asking that. Yes, you will still get all of your questions answered. So that's something that I'm doing to not be centering pain and centering suffering and centering an inhuman level of labor in my life, right? Because we shouldn't be doing inhuman levels of labor. I'm going to put her in there. She is a thick mama and she's not late. I'm proud of her. I'm proud that she's gotten to this size. But we're going to put her back in the backpack for now. Gonna actually put her inside her little snood. She's got a little woven crocheted snood thing that she's in so that she can stay warm. So put her back in there. So that is another thing that I'm doing for the Lionsgate. Now, the next thing that I want us to make sure that we're doing more often is I want you guys to add yourself to my email list. Another thing that is very overwhelming for me and that drains me and takes a lot of my energy and a lot of my time is posting on the new social media, right? Social media is different from what it originally was. Most of you all I met on social media. Most of you all I know through social media. Usually I met most people back in the day. About 16 years ago was when I first got on Facebook, maybe 15 years ago. And I started meeting people then. And shortly after that was when I started my Black Witchcraft classes. And most of the people that I interact with now, I met through those mediums of social media and my Black Witchcraft classes. During that time on social media, when you posted, people who followed you were able to see your post as soon as you posted it, and you were able to see the posts of people that you followed as soon as they posted it. That's a long gone era, right? But when social media first started, it was almost like you were having a conversation with the people that you followed, right? You would be in the conversation with them because as soon as I posted something, the people who followed me could see it. And when they posted something, I could see what they were posting. So we kind of were staying in conversation all day on social media during those times. But what has happened now is that social media has basically become mass media. So the majority of what we see are ads or influencers doing advertisements for big companies or big companies finding a way to make their advertisements look like somebody's post. So that's most of what we're seeing. And because those big companies have budgets that allow them to be seen more, then it basically is just like television, right? So you're not going to necessarily have small business information on television because they usually can't afford to put an ad there. So that is what has happened now with social media. It has just become mass media. And so for a small business owner like me, when I am posting things, it is very rare that the people who follow me see them, right? Or people will see things way after I have posted them. And so they'll miss things and they'll be like, oh, I didn't know the class was going on, and the class will be over, and people will, some people will purchase the replay, but people will be disappointed that they didn't get to take the class in real time. So that too, for me, has become very draining. And I am a creative person. I love creating a beautiful video, a beautiful post. I like doing that. I like adding the music. I like adding the color, the backgrounds, going out and finding different elements from the past to add to things. I enjoy doing that because I'm a creative person and I'm a writer. So I love to write up, different posts and different things like that. I do not mind doing that. But in all honesty, it becomes very draining to do when no one is seeing it, right? So then it just becomes draining. So I am encouraging everyone tonight to please join my email list on my website. So let me see. I'm going to put up a link for the email list. I should have had this pulled up. So please excuse me, but I don't have it pulled up as yet. So if you join the email list on my website, then you will get the updates that I give via email. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I'm going to put the website here. And if you go to my website, there is an area that shows you where you can join it. It has its own app. You can get that or not get that. That is up to you. But there's an area where you join the website. When you join the website, go ahead and add yourself to the email list. I generally send out maybe 2 emails a week. On a busy week, maybe 3, but it's not going to be a situation where you're getting an email from me every day. But people who want to keep up with the classes, people who want to know what's going on, it's going to be in your best interest to join the email list, right? As much as I love making posts and I think that it's fun making posts, it's not something that I can devote a lot of time to if people aren't going to be able to see them. And if I'm still going to have to reach out via email to let people know about the classes. So please go to the site and join the email list, get on the email list so that when I send information out, you will have access to the information. So the emails that are generally sent out, you're going to know people who are members on the site, they actually know when I'm having a sale, like 2 or 3 days before other people know. People who are members on the site know about the classes weeks and sometimes a month in advance of when the classes are going to be taught. People who are members on the site get updates on the classes. If something's going to have to be canceled, if something's going to have to be rescheduled. People who are members on the site already knew that I was doing these personal podcast style of reading because I told them a while ago that I was changing the format. So when you're a member on the site, the information that you need from me, you can get it easily, right? You have access to it. And also, you will have the email so that you can go back and refer to it if there is a link or something that you're looking for. Because sometimes people are looking for a link to a specific class, to a specific course, to a specific type of reading. If you're a member on the site, those things have been highlighted in the email, so you also can access those things easier. So those are the 3 things that I wanted to discuss today, right? First thing, we are in a wonderful, beautiful, open gate. The ancestral mothers and the womb universe has seen fit to have us be alive during this time for today's Lionsgate. So first and foremost, be grateful to be here, right? It is a gift and a blessing and a joy to be here, right? So be grateful. That's the first thing. Second thing, as we move into this new time, as this portal opens and pushes us through into this new time, as we are experiencing this beautiful rebirth, do not take the pattern of trying to motivate yourself with pain forward into this new time. Leave that in the past. Third thing, I have created a training system that helps us to let go of the patterns of being motivated by pain. And as we let go of those patterns, we are changing the world. Because not only do we have to let go of pain being a motivator, the vibration of pain being a motivator is what is always magnified in this society. So the more of us that let go of that, the less power that vibration has. And in that way, you change the world. You change yourself, you change your home, you change your family, you change your community, and that is how you change the world. I know that you've been made to believe that the world can only be changed when thousands upon thousands of people are doing the same thing, and that is simply a lie. Life isn't even set up like that. I make a change. My change changes my family. My family's change changes my community. My community change changes the larger community. The larger community change changes the world. That is how the world is changed. The sacred scriptures of our ancestors, the Holy Odu says, one or retouches one or retouches 90, one or retouches 200, one or retouches 300. One person's change changes the world. So what we are doing through this new system that I have created is we are learning how to change ourselves. We are learning how to realign ourselves with pleasure and with bliss. And with the true understanding of the universe, the pleasure is the fuel for everything. So as we realign, we change the world. So I would love to see you in the training course. We meet every Wednesday, and we also have movement courses that take place in the membership area of my YouTube. In addition to that, there is an herbal ally that we are all using that is giving us so much more energy, giving us so much more clarity of thought. That is an ancient herb that our ancestral mothers have been using since we were in West and Central Africa. But you've got to join this training group to know all of that, to get all of that information. So that is in the description box. That was the next thing. After that, if you are getting readings from me going forward, and I hope that you are, all of your readings will be done in a personal podcast format, meaning that you can refer back to it whenever you need to. You can listen to it whenever you need to. It can be your meditation guide. It can be your life guide. It can be in your earphones whenever you need it. Those are the types of readings that I am offering. There will be 4 slots, 2 for face-to-face and 2 for Zoom that are available as well. All right. Final thing, add yourself to the email list. That is the easiest way to make sure that you see classes as they're coming up. Make sure that you have access to sales if you want to get a reading at a sales price or anything else at a sales price. Make sure that you have access to me and anything that I have going on that you may want to participate in. The easiest way to know what is going on, because of the current way that social media is acting as mass media, is to add yourself to my email list. Finally, this weekend is a reptile show. Why is that important? That is important because when I was away in Jamaica, my other python, royal python, Laveau, passed away. So she passed away during the summer while I was not here. I wasn't in the country. So I have been soothing myself, grieving, getting over everything that I need to get over. And I said, I went to a reptile show earlier in the year around July 17th or 15th. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll get another python. But I promise you, nothing moved me. And I said, okay, it's just not time. Let me take some more time. Let me get over Laveau. And so I said, okay, I'm going to take some time. The next one that looked like that it was scheduled was actually not until October. And I was like, oh man, I don't really want to wait that long. But I just wasn't feeling it in July. So my Ori told me, something just said to me, my higher self said, check and see when the next reptile show is. And come to find out, it's this weekend. So I feel ready to get another reptile. I like to have two. So I'm going to get another reptile. If you would like to contribute, some people have already contributed. If you've contributed, thank you. To my new reptile fund, you can simply send something to my Cash App. So this weekend, all things considered, I may be getting my new reptile. So we shall see, right? We'll see what is available and what calls to me. I'm not going to get anything unless I really feel pulled towards it. Both of the ones that I had, I could feel the vibration. I could feel our connection before I even purchased them and brought them home. So I'm not going to get one unless I feel like that. So if you want to contribute to that fund, that is a possibility as well. So Lionsgate, give thanks and praise. Stop using pain as your motivator. Join the Kundalini protocols to get some assistance, some help, and some techniques on how to make bliss your motivator, right? New style of reading, personal podcasts. Get your personal podcast reading so that you can be listening to my advice and guidance whenever you need to listen to it. Join the email list so that we can keep up with one another. That is the best way for us to do that from here on out. All right. We are blessed. When you begin to do the work of centering pleasure in your life, you become acutely aware of the reality that we are so very richly blessed. So be grateful for everything that you have in your life, right? And be grateful for the ability to think and to draw and to magnetize to you those things that you don't have. Pleasure is the fuel. The universe is a pleasure-based system. Use your own pleasure to tap in to what it is that you want and need. All right. Let me go, guys. I actually have I have three personal podcast readings that I'm about to do for this evening. So if you have a reading scheduled this evening, be on the lookout for your personal podcast information coming through soon. Ecstasy, abundance, and bliss, and all of the gifts of Oshun. To all of those within the sound of my voice who are wishing the same for me and mine. And as always, we wish the lessons of life on those who are ignorant enough to wish us otherwise. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, guys. Enjoy your Lionsgate. Pause, write down your manifestations. Remember that you get to have it exactly the way that you want it. All right. For those of you who are in class, I will see you in class on Wednesday. For everyone else, I will see you in the next live. Peace, y'all. Ashe, y'all are welcome.